Meaning and definitions of economics. Introduction. Introduction. Any discussion on a subject must start by explaining what the subject is all about, that is, by defining the subject. In this chapter, we shall define economics. The questions which economics actually discusses will then be taken up in the subsequent chapters. The principal fact about economics that we must always remember is that it is a social science. If we forget this, we tend to get bogged down with questions that are not relevant to economics and are best left to other disciplines. Meaning of economics. The word economics originates from the Greek word oikonomikos, which can be divided into two parts. A. Oikos, which means home, and B. Nomos, which means management. Thus, economics means home management. The head of a family faces the problem of managing the unlimited wants of the family members within the limited income of the family. In fact, the same is true for a society also. If we consider the whole society as a family, then the society also faces the problem of tackling unlimited wants of the members of the society with the limited resources available in that society. Thus, economics means the study of the way in which mankind organizes itself to tackle the basic problems of scarcity. All societies have more wants than resources. Hence, a system must be devised to allocate these resources between competing ends.
Definitions of economics. We have now formed an idea about the meaning of economics. This at once leads to a general definition of economics. Economics is the social science that studies economic activities. This definition is, however, too broad. It does not specify the exact manner in which the economic activities are to be studied. Economic activities essentially mean production, exchange and consumption of goods and services. However, with the progress of civilization, the complexity of the production, exchange and consumption processes in society have increased manifold. Economists at different times have emphasized different aspects of economic activities, and have arrived at different definitions of economics. We shall now discuss some of these definitions in detail. These definitions can be classified into four groups. 1. Wealth definitions. 2. Material welfare definitions. 3. Scarcity definitions, and 4. Growth-centered definitions.
Adam Smith's definition of economics. Adam Smith, considered to be the founding father of modern economics, defined economics as the study of the nature and causes of nations' wealth, or simply as the study of wealth. The central point in Smith's definition is wealth creation. Implicitly, Smith identified wealth with welfare. He assumed that, the wealthier a nation becomes, the happier are its citizens. Thus, it is important to find out how a nation can be wealthy. Economics is the subject that tells us how to make a nation wealthy. Adam Smith's definition is a wealth-centered definition of economics.
Alfred Marshall's definition. Alfred Marshall also stressed the importance of wealth. But he also emphasized the role of the individual in the creation and the use of wealth. He wrote, "Economics is a study of man in the ordinary business of life. It inquires how he gets his income and how he uses it. Thus, it is on the one side, the study of wealth, and on the other and more important side, a part of the study of man." Marshall, therefore, stressed the supreme importance of man in the economic system. Marshall's definition is considered to be material welfare-centered definition of economics.
Lionel Robbins' definition. The next important definition of economics was due to Professor Lionel Robbins. In his book Essays on the Nature and Significance of the Economic Science, published in 1932, Robbins gave a definition which has become one of the most popular definitions of economics. According to Robbins, economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. A long line of economists after Robbins, including Saitovsky and Cassel, agreed with this definition and carried on their analysis in line with this definition. It is a scarcity-based definition of economics. Lionel Robbins' definition. Modern growth-oriented definition of Samuelson. In relatively recent times, more comprehensive definitions of economics have been offered. Thus, Professor Samuelson writes, "Economics is the study of how people and society end up choosing, with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources that could have alternative uses to produce various commodities over time and distributing them for consumption, now or in the future, among various persons or groups in society." It analyzes costs and benefits of improving patterns of resource allocation. A large number of modern economists subscribe to this broad definition of economics.
And last, to put it summarily, the modern definition of economics is the most comprehensive of all the definitions. All the issues that were highlighted in the earlier definitions are included here. In addition, the issues of development of a backward economy, as well as those of growth in a mature capitalist economy, form part of this definition. Economics as it stands today, is built on the basis of this comprehensive definition.